Hey Star Wars fans, my name is Prince and I am an urban acolyte. And in my last video, which was a review of the Breaking Ranks episode, I said that my next video was going to be a character spotlight on Saw Gerrera, but I really just am in the mood to talk about Finn, so I'm just going to rap with you guys for a few minutes about who I think Finn's family might be. And that's completely based on me speculating on information that we know right now. So a lot of people have been asking, is Finn a Calrissian? Is he a Windu? Or is he related to the Leonis family? And I'm just going to flat out say no to him being related to Lando Calrissian. I know when I left the movie theater after my third time seeing The Force Awakens, there were two women in front of me and they said, wow, that Finn really reminds me of Lando. And I kept looking at them like, no, he doesn't remind me of Lando at all. No disrespect to Billy D. Williams, but when I was little, like Billy D. Williams was the Colt 45 guy, and then he was the guy who ratted out Han and Leia and Luke. Yes, he had his redemption in Return of the Jedi, and I understand that Lando was kind of introduced as, okay, he's the guy who sells out Han. His redemption was going to be that his character was supposed to replace Han Solo if Harrison Ford didn't come back for Return of the Jedi. And the second part of the trilogy, the next three movies that George Lucas originally planned to do that would focus on Luke Skywalker's sister. All right, so I understand that, you know, Billy D. Williams, the Lando Calrissian character, kind of got a raw deal, but you know, like I said, he doesn't remind me of Finn. There's no similar qualities. And the biggest issue that makes me say no is if Lando Calrissian decides to settle down, start a family, what reason would there be for the First Order to abduct his son, his grandson, his offspring, whoever Finn would be? There's no reason at all for them to know about his family or for them to even abduct him, right? And I'll get to that reason in a moment. Now, next on the list is Mace Windu. Is Finn a grandson of Mace? And he'd have to be a grandson because Mace was about 55 years old, 55, 56, when he died. And I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to say he died. And if he's dead, well, then he doesn't have grandchildren unless he fathered a child before his death. But in the event that he did survive, right? Okay, so you've got Jedi Master Mace Windu who goes into hiding, lives his life in seclusion. By the time Finn is born, Mace Windu is in his late 80s, early 90s. So we're going to have to go with grandfather. And then again, if Mace Windu is gone into hiding, how does the First Order identify his grandson so that they can abduct him? You see where I'm going with this? Like, the First Order didn't just go out and raid and pillage villages and steal the youth and conscript them into the military. They targeted who they were going after, and I talked about this in numerous other videos. And that's going to bring us to Zare Leonis because Leonis is connected to this targeted abduction. He's part of the big reveal when we learn about what the First Order is going to do when he becomes a member of Commandant Brendel Hux's Commandant Cadets when he's going through training at the Imperial Officers Academy on Arcanis, right? So why is Zare Leonis the strongest candidate for being I'm going to say Finn's father, right? We know that Dara Leonis, at least I know that Dara Leonis is Force sensitive. She was abducted from the Imperial Academy on Lothal. She was part of Project Harvest, which was a program to recruit potential Force sensitives out of the Imperial Cadet Academies and train them to become part of the Inquisitors or members of the Inquisitorius, right? And someone asked, what are the Inquisitors? They aren't Sith. They're like, think of them as Force sensitive Imperial officers. They carry lightsabers. They're soldiers, basically, that perform special tasks for Vader, for the Emperor, related to Force stuff. Makes sense? So, one, Zare is already a rebel, And during the events that take place on Arcanus, it comes out what Zare has done. Him destroying that Imperial tank back on Lothal before he even got into the Cadet Academy. All of this comes out because Beck is kind of brainwashed to become a stormtrooper. Beck is one of Zare's friends from his previous school, Junior Applied Sciences. Beck tried to become a rebel. The Empire caught him, took him away, and started doing this experimental therapy that eventually became the First Order's kind of brain programming that they do on the First Order stormtroopers and potentially the officers too. Anyway, so Finn pretty much blows all of this up. Like the academy is destroyed when the rebels come, and I mean Ezra, Sabine, Zeb, they rescue Zare's sister Dara. She uses the Force to actually kill an Imperial officer when they're breaking her out. Now, would I think that Dara could be Finn's mother? I said that I'm going specifically with Zare as the father, and that's because the last time we see Dara, she's like crazy, right? She's not right in the head. She's been tortured and had whatever the Grand Inquisitor did to her. She's like not right. And maybe she recovers, maybe she heals. That we don't know. I can only go with the last thing that I've seen that is actually canon, and that's that Dara was crazy when their family goes to Garel. Now, how and why would the Empire go and locate them? Well, their parents were biology officers working for the Empire. If you've read Aftermath Life Debt, then you know that Gallius Rax said that children are important. We need to go and locate the Imperial records, the birth records, the records of families, and the records that they're gonna have are gonna be people who worked for the Empire. Like think of the huge bureaucracy that's behind a galactic empire. They've got records for everything. So when we start talking about targeting children to become part of the First Order's army, right? The stormtroopers, the officers, whatever, right? You've got family records of people and you know everything about them. So when you start saying, well, we need an army of foot soldiers, we need to locate people who, you know, basically it's like you're buying slaves or going after horses or something, right? You're looking for a good stock. And so that's why I said, if Finn were a Calrissian, how would they have records of that? Why would they target Lando? Why would they target Mace Windu if he's in hiding and you don't even know anything about him having a family? So if Finn were to be related to anyone that we've seen of color, I would go with Zare Leonis, and I would say that Zare marries his girlfriend Maurice Spanjeff because her parents also worked for the Empire. They were data or network administrators, right? They managed the HoloNet. So you've got two kids who get together and they're both the children of Imperial couples, right? And they have a child. And then you know that there's some Force sensitivity in the family. And then not only that, but they're both traitors, right? They're traitors to the Empire. So what's a better way to get back at them than by abducting their child, possibly killing them for treason, right? It only makes sense. Now, I've got to be honest, this is all kind of, it's being creative. I think the idea behind Finn and behind Rey, as we're presented in episode 7, is they're both no one. They have no background, no ties to anyone, no family, no identity. And through this mission, through the story that we're given, through their respective heroic journeys, which actually cross paths, right? The hero's journey that Rey and Finn are on are kind of intertwined, right? They're both the heroes, they're both the stars of this new saga. They find an identity, and I think in that process of finding this new identity, they will discover who they were previously, right? So with all that being said, I'd like to hear from you. What do you think about me kind of connecting the dots and connecting Finn to Zare Leonis? Do you buy it, or do you really want Finn to be a Calrissian? Do you want him to be Mace Windu's grandson, even though I don't think that's possible at all? Or do you think he could be related to someone else? So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below, and I'll be checking to see what you guys have to say. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. I gotta apologize to you guys about kind of falling off the Vlogist map or whatever, but there's a lot of business stuff going on the back end of my YouTube channel, and honestly I just needed a break from making videos. I'm still in the process of dealing with all the business stuff, and once everything gets worked out, I promise I'll be back to posting videos at least 6 days a week. I might take Saturdays off since Sundays will be spent working on Rebels. Anyway, I'm going to be banging out these Rebels reviews up until we get season 3. I'll also get on those 2 character spotlights from Star Wars Rogue One. So the next video I post will either be a Rebels review, a character spotlight, or I might get sidetracked and cover this fan speculation about Finn and Rey, which is pretty cool. It's something I've been waiting like a month to do. So that's all I've got for now. So thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the Force be with you always.